From the heartland of America, focused on God, family, and country, the mouthpiece of the Midwest. This is Dale Carter's America.
Welcome back to the Raytown studio location of Dale Carter's America. This would be our Christmas episode. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
That's Kurt Wheeler.
Hi.
And it is Ugly Sweater Day on the calendar as we record this, so I am wearing, I don't think this is an ugly sweater, by the way, because it depicts my dog, Baby Harry, and little Rafa, and it says Dog Dad on it, which I am.
I agree. I don't think it's ugly either. I think it's beautiful.
So there you go. I don't know where my wife got it, so somebody else asked me about that. I don't know where it came from, but I am wearing it on Ugly Sweater Day. Are you all set for Christmas? I saw the tree up in the downstairs portion of the studio.
Yeah. 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 I mean, as ready as we'll ever be, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm like super late on lights, exterior lights, but I have these lights that are going to be like permanent. So, I'll get them up sometime this week and then they'll just stay up.
I've got a neighbor who does that, and he has like different colors depending on what's going on, right? Like red, white, and blue for the 4th of July.
Yeah. Or like rainbow for Pride Month,
I know that'll
really
be big
important.
at your house. I get that. I get that. So with all of that said, tell everybody as we go into the Christmas episode how they can be part of Dale Carter's America.
Well, thank you for joining us, first of all, and Merry Christmas. God bless you and your family. And let's not forget the reason for the season, Christ's birth and the nativity and all that. So if you're watching on video, make sure you subscribe on YouTube and Rumble. Drop a like, drop a comment, drop another comment, send it to your friends, all that good stuff. You can find the audio only version on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, and then make sure to follow us on Facebook as well.
Okay. A little later in the podcast, we'll be joined by a special guest, one of the most opinionated people in Kansas City. I find myself listening to him all the time. I don't agree with him 100%, but let's face it, Kurt and I don't agree 100% of the time. But I do find myself listening to him and challenging my thinking a little bit. Most of the time we do agree. He's a conservative guy. Kevin Kietzman is who we're talking about, and he will be on the podcast here in just a little bit. We like to think of this as a safe space for those of you who agree with us, where you can hear what you want to hear, that we are rooting for the country to do well. We are putting Christ back in Christmas. We do believe in all those things. And this is a safe space because I know out there in the real world, there are people who look down their noses at you and make you feel somewhat marginalized. Just know that there are a lot of people who think the way that you do, and this is your safe space for that. All that being said, this has been a rough news week. I just wrote down a few notes on some things that have happened. You had the Brown shooting, Brown University in Providence, and the same guy, I guess, killed an MIT professor, a guy from Portugal. And I don't know if you've heard the latest on this, but he committed suicide. They found him in New Hampshire.
Oh, really?
So after all of those press conferences about nothing, apparently the guy took his own life. So that's one of the rough stories going on. The world at large, Australia, somebody killed 19 people. A father and son team killed 19 people before somebody had the gonads to go up there and tackle the guy with the rifle. And then he wouldn't shoot him, because it's like, well, I don't want to get in trouble, because they're so buttoned down on gun control in Australia. He was able to get off 19 kill shots before somebody could get to him.
I think I didn't really look into this, but I saw something in passing that they may be trying to pass more gun laws now. That's
exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah.
More gun control, because criminals can't get guns because it's illegal. How are they going to get guns? And then you got the Reiners. We're going to talk about them a little bit later on here. Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, were killed by their own son, allegedly. Not with a gun, with a knife.
Yeah. Brutal.
Yeah, just terrible, brutal murders going on here. So what's the bottom of that? I don't know. They arrested the kid, and he is in jail awaiting arraignment and all that. And then yesterday, a plane crash involving Greg Biffel's family. If you're a NASCAR fan at all, Greg Biffel was a great NASCAR driver, retired now, and he and his family were heading off to vacation, and something went wrong. I think he was the pilot, because he is a pilot, and something went wrong. His wife got off a text to her mom that said, something's wrong here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then,
Lord have mercy.
they crash trying to get back around there. So it just seems like death and destruction is all around us. So pray for everybody involved in all of this, that there are brighter days ahead. And we pray for their families too. Pop some popcorn. The Epstein files are going to be released by midnight tonight as we're recording this show. So we'll see what names come out of that. And speaking of names, they're naming names in Minnesota. The fraud case there involving Medicaid-funded housing programs is deepening. This is the guy that Kamala Harris picked to be her vice president. He's the guy running all of that. And there were people around Harris who said, don't pick this guy.
Yeah.
He's a complete moron. And, she was probably like, well, I'm a complete moron. I was Biden's complete moron. So it rolls downhill that way. So we'll see what's going to happen there, but it is a widening scandal involving Tim Walz's administration in the state of Minnesota. There is good news. Inflation is lower. Did you see that?
I did not.
Yeah. Inflation came out lower than expected. Gas prices are continuing to go down. In fact, driving to the Raytown studio, it's still above $2.50 in Blue Springs. I saw $2.49 in Raytown. So feeling pretty good about that. Gas is going down. Food prices are going down. We'll get beef prices down too. A lot to be optimistic about going into this new year. So there's bad news around us, but there's good news, and there's always a light just ahead of us. And you just got to be confident that it's all going to work out, because I think that it will. Thank you for listening to the podcast here. Bob Watson helps bring it to you. He is my State Farm agent. He's been around the State Farm halls for over 50 years, 51 years, as a matter of fact. So that's
I'd say congratulations.
That's a gold star from my friend Bobby. 7th and Main in Blue Springs, 816-229-7878. Auto, home, life, commercial insurance, boats. I know we're not thinking about boats. Maybe we are. I don't know if you've seen the extended forecast for Kansas City, but it's going to be 70 on Christmas Day.
Oh, really? Jeez.
There won't be a white Christmas.
There will not.
Unless you're doing it with styrofoam, because it is going to be 70 degrees. Bob Watson, bundle your home and car insurance, save even more, get a rate quote from Bob and his team, 7th and Main in Blue Springs, but again, they take care of folks in Missouri and Kansas. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, 816-229-7878. Usually I start with that, and I forgot, so we got other things we got to talk about here. Christian Brothers, we're keeping our cars longer. Even though the ridiculous mandates have been taken off, and we're going to get to that a little bit later in the podcast, too, about how Ford is handling that moving forward. Bottom line is, the average price for a new automobile is $50,000. It means we're keeping our cars longer. Got to keep them maintained. Christian Brothers will do just that for you. Tim Porter owns the one at 19600 East US 40 Highway. That is just east of 291/470 in Independence. He'll take care of your cars. Really, you need to do it for the first time, because we all got to maintain our cars, get an oil change, get the tires rotated and all that. Do that with my friend Tim Porter at Christian Brothers, and you'll be hooked. And when something really goes wrong, Tim and his team will take care of you. Everything they do on the car, 3 years, 36,000-mile warranty, whichever benefits you the most. They work on everything that's got four wheels, some stuff that's got less, and some stuff that's got more, including the hybrids and electric vehicles if you really want to go that route. Tim Porter, Christian Brothers Automotive. Get that appointment at 816-675-4587. I promise you they're going to take really good care of you. Just like Austin Watterson will. Austin's one of my good friends. He owns Royal Roofing and Solar. And I say he's my good friend because on his Facebook page today, have you seen the current craze on Facebook where people are using some sort of filter to make themselves look Christmassy and some sort of an outfit?
It's all the AI stuff, man.
Yeah,
the AI
stuff.
slop on Facebook is out of control.
Yeah. So
and the boomers just eat it up.
Yeah. Well, Austin's younger. I mean, he's probably your age.
He's my age?
I think he is. He's younger than I am.
How old do you think I am?
I don't know. I don't even want to know.
Okay.
Probably just offend me. Probably piss me off. Anyway, Austin, if you look at his Facebook page, he did one of these filter things, and he screwed up the first time, and instead of selecting male, he selected female.
I
And he had to go back and fix that. You look for it while I'm telling you about what Austin really does, and that's take care of the roof over your house. You got to know the health of your roof. If you don't know what the roof looks like before a storm, how in the world are you going to prove that the damage is from a recent storm? Insurance companies have tightened the guidelines on what they'll agree to, so it's very important to have the evidence of your roof before the storm hits. Get Austin and his team up on your roof. They'll come out and provide you with a free roof health report. And when you need a roof, these are the guys I trust. They did the roof on my house. Roofedbyroyal.com at 816-540-7057. Now that's the one where he selected male. There's the female one. And when I first saw that, I thought, man, Austin, you got quite the rack there. Is that wrong?
The robot overlords are going to take us over so easily.
It's probably wrong on a lot of levels. All right. I'm going to dive into something.
He's even got a little button nose, a little red button nose there.
That's my roof guy right there.
Yeah.
Not the female version. That's the roof. He's got the goatee going there. That pretty much looks like Austin.
Yep.
Good guy. I'm going to wade into something here, and I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but this is my opinion, and we started this podcast based on my opinions, and so I'm just going to throw it out there, and if people want to hate on me, they can hate on me. But I think there are some people out there who agree with me. I live with one of them who basically lives to the right of me on the political spectrum. You've heard of Trump derangement syndrome, TDS. We've talked about that quite a bit. And we have friends on the left who have it. I mean, have it in spades. I mean, they just wait for Donald Trump to open his mouth and their heads explode. And they throw it all over Facebook. And what's the latest? I guess he's now the namesake for the Kennedy Center. It's the Trump Kennedy Center.
Oh, really?
You hadn't heard that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I have a new Trump syndrome that I'm going to throw out there. We're going to call it TFS, Trump Fatigue Syndrome. And I admit to you all that I am going through it right now. Has nothing to do with my vote for Donald Trump 3 separate times. Because when I look at that election from a policy perspective, Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton was not even close. Donald Trump versus Joe Biden, less close. Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris, not even a question that we can answer. So policy-wise, he's doing what I voted for him to do for the most part. But here's where I'm coming from, Kurt. I find myself unable to watch him on TV. It's unwatchable to me because I get bored with it. I get bored with the silliness. I feel like, and this is going to really be a Christmas-themed podcast, I feel like I'm watching a Seinfeld episode.
What?
Nothing. It's a card from my dad.
Dear son, happy Festivus? What is Festivus?
It's nothing. It's nothing.
When George was growing
Jerry,
up,
no.
his father hated all the commercial and religious aspects of Christmas, so he made up his own holiday.
I'm out of here.
Happy Festivus!
It's Festivus.
When George was growing up, his father...
Nothing. It's nothing. It's a stupid holiday my father invented. It doesn't exist.
Happy Festivus, Georgie.
A new holiday was born. A Festivus for the rest of us. And at the Festivus dinner, you gather your family around and tell them all the ways they have disappointed you over the past year.
And is there a tree?
No, instead there's a pole. Requires no decoration. I find tinsel distracting.
Is that the pole?
George, Festivus is your heritage. It's part of who you are.
That's why I hate it.
Read that poll.
You can kill it right there, but it's reciting the grievances.
Yes.
And Trump does that every time.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, we know what the Democrats and the media put him through the first time. We know. All right? We know all of this. We want him to clean up Biden's mess, which is why he got elected by 77 million Americans. And he is doing that. I just want him to stop complaining. I want him to stop bloviating. I want him to do the job. But every speech he gives, he goes back in time and he says, they did this to me and they did that to me. How is that helping America?
It's not. It's not. It's a personal vendetta on his account. I mean, and I would take it even farther. I think you would anticipate me to say this, but I mean, I think he has been a disappointment on the policy. I think he has done very little of what he campaigned on. And, you know, even the first time, I think it was better, the 2016 administration, but even then it was a disappointment because he campaigns on all these things. He's like, on day one, you know, we're gonna end the war. And,
he overpromises and underdelivers.
Yeah, exactly. And this time it's just even more of that. And the difference this time is that, you know, in 2016, he ran as an independent, basically.
Right.
He ran within the Republican Party, but he ran as an independent. And the whole thing was drain the swamp. I don't need your money. I'm self-funded. You can't control me. That was his whole thing. Well, now he's like the leader of the Republican Party. He's getting $100 million here, $100 million there. He's like a swamp creature now. So now he has all these people that are basically pulling the strings, and he says it. He says, like, he was in a press conference. I saw the clip, not the whole thing, but he was in a press conference the other day, and they're asking him about the midterms, and he brings up Susie Wiles, the chief of staff.
Right.
And he's like, well, you know, I don't really know what she wants has planned for me. You know, she's the boss, so we'll see. It's like, dude, you're the president. And so yeah, I mean, I think it's both on the policy level and the personal level.
Yeah.
He just has been a disappointment recently, and I think that's why his approval rating is as low as it is right now.
He's not as big a disappointment to me as he is to you on the policy side. I just find myself fatigued by it. I see him start talking, and I know where it's going to go, and it's just I'm just over it. I mean, I'm not going to take my vote back. I voted for the guy, and I think we're a lot better off than we would be if Kamala Harris was president.
Yeah.
And we saw what Joe Biden did.
But it's tough. It's tough because I think, yeah, in a sense, like, we're better off. I mean, it would be worse if Kamala was president. But on the other hand, if you get elected and you do very little, but you just bloviate, then all you're really doing is like angering the other side. And then when the pendulum swings again,
and it's going to,
which it inevitably will,
right,
it's going to swing even further.
Right.
You think, you know, the persecutions of the January 6th people, you think the Ministry of Disinformation or whatever,
exactly,
you think the COVID restrictions were terrible. That's just the beginning. That was a test. And so this is his time to get stuff done. And he has like a year, because they're going to have him out there campaigning for the midterms. He's going to have very little time. And then once the midterms hit, he's going to probably lose the House and maybe the Senate. Yeah. And then that's it. It's over. So this is the time to do it right now, and he's not.
So I'm guessing you suffer from Trump fatigue syndrome too.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But since you're not following him much, maybe you haven't even seen this. But he did these pictures of all the presidents between the Oval Office door and the White House along the colonnade back there by the Rose Garden. And that was interesting, I guess. And he put himself up there twice. And instead of Biden's picture, maybe you've seen this, he did the picture of the auto pen.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, that was funny for a day.
Yeah.
But now he's added plaques to all of them. And he wrote the plaques.
Yes.
And he's taking shots at all of them. How, again, I asked the question, how is that helping us?
This is the Obama plaque. I'll read it. Barack Hussein Obama was our first black president, a community organizer, one-term senator from Illinois, and one of the most divisive political figures in American history. As president, he passed the highly ineffective quote-unquote Unaffordable Care Act, resulting in his party losing control of both houses of Congress and the election of the largest House Republican majority since 1946. He presided over a stagnant economy, approved the terrible Iran nuclear deal, and signed the one-sided Paris Climate Accords, both of which were later terminated by President Donald J. Trump. That's the first plaque. And then he had to add a second plaque underneath the first plaque because one plaque wasn't enough for his stupid bitching.
Exactly. And this is attached to the wall of the White House.
Yeah. It's just so petty. Like, it's not funny.
It's not. Well, you laughed.
I mean, it's funny. And it's funny in the same way that, like, you know, it's funny when someone like pisses their pants. Like, that's not good. Don't piss your pants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's funny. I'm laughing at you, not with you.
Exactly. Okay. So to the extent that Biden beat him in 2020, I think there was fatigue then, and I think that's why it swung so far the other way, because people just wanted normal. Biden ran that he was going to be normal, and then we got 4 years of what Biden was, and we went back the other way. Like, as to your point, I mean, the pendulum swings, and it can swing rather wildly. But he can't run again, but he can play into the hands of the Democrats and make the second half of his last term hell on all of us, as you mentioned, by losing both the House and maybe the Senate. I also wasn't surprised, just disappointed at his Truth Social post on Rob Reiner. Now, make no mistake, Rob Reiner was a complete asshole. I mean, look what Rob Reiner, I mean, you could play hours of videos of Rob Reiner and the bombs that he threw at our side, just bombs that he threw at our side. When Rush Limbaugh was diagnosed with terminal cancer, Reiner went after him in a very not nice way. I haven't forgotten what he said and what he posted. But what happened to him and his wife was absolutely tragic, full stop.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. But Trump can't help himself. Did you see the post that he put out?
I just put it up, and I'll read it. I mean, if you want me to. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace! Exclamation point.
I mean, you know,
it's
fatiguing, and that's why I say it's Trump fatigue syndrome. I'm
inexcusable.
And clearly it's not just me, because my wife and I had this conversation, and to what I said earlier, she's to the right of me. You're probably to the right of me, and you're feeling the same way. I would love to hear what people think about this, who agree with us, who agree that America needs to be a constitution-based country and not this socialistic hydra that just, it grows 5 heads over here, you cut one off, 10 more pop up over here. We agree on all of that stuff. But I think we're just fatigued on this stuff. And
the thing with Trump, too, is like, we elected him to be the bull in the china shop. Like the idea of, oh, if we just elect, you know, the most conservative, quote unquote, person like Ted Cruz or something like that, they're going to get in there and they're going to change everything. And we just didn't believe that anymore because we have been proven wrong so many times that they just get in there and then they play the game. And it's what happens, you know, with Congress. It's what happened with every single president. And so Trump was outside of the system. But now he's just part of the system now. And he's still, you know, an agent of chaos. But it's just like not actually accomplishing anything, you know.
Yeah. Well, local elections matter a lot. And I'm going to put in a plug for me because I am running for a local election, and that is the Jackson County Legislature, District 5. And that election is coming up next year because it's not just me, it's city councils, it's mayors, it's governors, because the closer you are to the problem, the better solution you can come up with for it. Washington was never, when the Constitution was passed, it was never set up that Washington, D.C. and our federal government is going to solve all of our problems. That was not the plan. It still shouldn't be the plan. Politics and government are best practiced closest to the actual problem. And that's why I'm running, because I think I'm a pragmatic problem solver. I think Phil LaVota has gotten in there and cleaned up a lot of the mess that Frank White made. And I want to run to represent the people that I live around out in eastern Jackson County. So if you want to check me out there, my website is dalecarter.us, because local elections really matter. Okay. And then when you look at turnout for it, you know, when a presidential election happens, when Donald Trump runs, you got to wait an hour and a half to cast your ballot. A local election that affects you every single day, you know, maybe 15% in a good election will turn out. That's criminal.
Yeah, it's very low.
And then you bitch about what happens. Did you vote? Local election? Nah, I don't really pay any attention to that sort of thing. School boards. You know, we got Ken Harrell is a dear friend of mine in Blue Springs, very conservative, and he is running for the school board in Blue Springs, and I'm going to help him win because we need conservative voices on our school boards. And I think Ken Harrell will do a great job. In fact, we'll set him up to be a guest on this podcast. So, yes, I mean, there's a clown show going on, and for a while it was kind of entertaining, but now I'm just tired. I'm just fatigued by it, and I think a lot of you are as well.
Can I say one more thing about this? Just as far as elections and voting, I think what you're going to see, again, his approval is at an all-time low, and it's obviously not just from the liberals. It's from conservatives, too. And people are seeing that he's not doing what he campaigned on. And this whole idea of like, well, it's at least better than the alternative. I only think that goes so far, and I think that only lasts so long. And people are starting to not only get disillusioned with Trump, but they're getting disillusioned with that. They're getting disillusioned by, well, why do you just deserve my vote, de facto, because you're a Republican or because you're not the Democrat? And so if there's not real change and, real action, I think you're going to see a lot of people sit out, in the midterms and in 28, especially if it's just going to be Trump 2.0, JD Vance, whatever. People are not going to vote, man.
I find myself gravitating toward Fetterman. I kind of like him. He's kind of like that guy who's going to say whatever he thinks is going on, regardless of what Chuck Schumer thinks, regardless of what Donald Trump thinks. And I want to hear an unfiltered opinion. I don't want to hear the Republican line or the Trump line or the Democrat line, because I could write that in my sleep. I want to hear kind of what the truth is. And, when Fetterman goes out there and Schumer's out there wringing his hands about us killing drug smugglers and all that, and it turns his stomach when he views the video, and Fetterman comes out and he says, well, I had the same classified briefing and the military's doing exactly what they should be doing. It's like that just dismisses Schumer completely.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think he's a great example, a really great example. And maybe somebody like that, just because he has a D in front of his name, so what? I mean, there has to be some it's not just a change from a D to an R.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There has to be some kind of major difference happening just in terms of the way that politics is done and the way that people talk. They talk to us like we're idiots. Do you realize that? They talk to us like we're idiots, and we are, because we keep voting for them.
Yeah. Well, to be continued on that front. At my house, after the fact, after somebody tried to break into my house, I called my friends at Claycomo Shooters, just like I tell you to, and ask about solutions for protecting my house. And I think we're going up this weekend. Jennifer wants a shotgun. She heard Joe Biden talking about it so many times, right? Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun. Right? Remember that?
Oh,
buy a shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shoot him in the leg. That was the other thing.
I don't think Jennifer's going to aim for the leg. 816-452-4867. 69 Highway in Claycomo. They are a full-service firearms dealer, including buying guns. They're experienced trainers with law enforcement background and indoor shooting range, too. Affordably priced, not the big box store. Just a neighborhood business looking out for the community. Shane's a great guy. Herb's been on the podcast before. These are former law enforcement training law enforcement. Protect yourself and your family, find the right firearm, and get trained on it. Medicare Simplified, KC. I laugh when I say this because, Kirk Doris is a dear friend of ours, and he does take this complicated government mess of Medicare and make it simpler so that you can understand it. If you're 65 or older, or approaching 65, you got to get on this thing. And for some of us, we're looking at it as the checkered flag at the end of the race, because we talk about Obamacare all the time and what's going to happen to premiums if the subsidies, the emergency COVID subsidies, aren't approved, right? Then they go up 114%. And if the emergency COVID subsidies are continued, basically just digging the hole deeper, they're still going to go up 26%. Well, that's for the people who are on Obamacare. For the rest of us who try and get, insurance through our employer, the best that we can, I just got my rates for 2026 just for me because my wife is on her company's insurance. and here's the other thing. If your spouse is on another insurance plan and you want to go on theirs because it's a better deal, they have an extra premium you have to pay.
Yeah.
It's a penalty per month to do that. So I'm not doing that. I'm staying on our company's insurance. And because of the mess that's been created by Obamacare and the inflation associated with it, my rate on my personal health care insurance is going up 30%. And that's going from a $5,000 deductible plan to a $6,500 deductible plan. Hope to God I stay healthy. Yeah. Hope I don't need to use it. And it's still going to cost me 30% more. That's what Obamacare has done. So that's why a lot of folks in my boat who are, in their 60s now, are looking at 65 going, okay, well, I'm going to get on Medicare. But it's not going to be that simple. You got this part, you got that plan. What supplement do you need? The man who will help you with this, who will get you the best deal that's available, and you won't pay him either, is Kirk Doris at Medicare Simplified KC. So if you've got a relative, or maybe it's you approaching that 65 checkered flag, reach out to him. He is at 816-701-6661 on the web at MedicareSimplifiedKC.com. He'll be very helpful to you. Our next guest is somebody who a lot of folks in Kansas City know. They've grown up with him. They've listened to him. They've watched him on television. And he's a friend of mine. And that is Kevin Kietzman. Kevin, thanks for being on the podcast.
Great to be here, Dale. Thanks for the invite, man. Anytime.
When I came to Kansas City in 1995, I think you were still working at Fox 4, yes?
Yes, that's the correct location for my employment at the time. Which is quite a ride.
And you would go on to do so many other things, host of Between the Lines, and a part owner at Sports Radio 810 WHB. And now you're the host of Kevin Kietzman Uncanceled on KCMO 95.7. That is weekdays from 10 to 11. You got your own podcast. Kevin Kietzman Has Issues. So you're in this thing. You're in the arena.
Yeah, I love podcasting. I love the freedom that it gives me. There's no bosses. We basically have our own guardrails of what we want to just had a legendary radio career.
Hello?
The freedom and control over what I do like I do now. It's just great.
Yeah. So we had a little issue there of freezing up. Or we just keep going? Okay. Yeah. We're going to figure it all out and get it going.
Okay.
So I kind of wanted to open it up and let you talk about whatever you wanted to talk about, but I do want to ask you about something that we brought up in the first segment here as kind of like, something that I'm going through and find out where you are, because you're a conservative guy. I enjoy listening to you. Usually if I get out of the radio station in the 10 o'clock hour, I'm going to 95.7. We don't agree 100%, but we agree on a lot. And even when I find myself not agreeing, it's like, well, you're giving me something to think about.
Right.
So let me give you something to think about. You've heard of Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, TDS, it's everywhere. I've coined a new phrase, and I think I am a sufferer of it, and it's Trump fatigue syndrome. I'm so tired of the long rambling speeches and I almost call it like the Seinfeld episode. It's like the Festivus for the rest of us. It's the list of all the grievances that he has to go through. And now the pictures along the colonnade at the White House and the plaques that he wrote that are under all of those. I just don't know how that helps America.
I don't either. And I love so much of what Trump does policy-wise, and I think he's been great for America. And I think he generationally is reaching a lot of young men in particular, but young people in America. That vote is swinging and changing. I went through this in the 80s when I was a teenager and was following Ronald Reagan. I'm like, yeah, I believe that better than what Jimmy Carter was peddling over here. So that's what cemented me for a lifetime. And I think Trump's doing that for a lot of people. But, the week he gave that address to the nation that was on all the networks was a bad week for Trump. He put up a post about Rob Reiner that was completely classless. I mean, you just can't do it. I know this was your sworn enemy. I know Rob Reiner was a political operative. He was working with a lot of people. He said horrible things about Trump. He would work behind the scenes to try to get Trump impeached and Russia, and all that. But my God, that was such an awful crime with that family. Just say nothing at all or say something nice. And 6 months down the road, if somebody asks you about Rob Reiner, say, he came after me. He was a bad person, whatever, but still a terrible thing that happened to him. Then the Susie Wiles interview comes out, and then he gave that address to the nation. And I don't know how you felt about it, Dale, but we've been in broadcasting forever. I thought that was his worst performance of his presidency. It was.
I didn't even watch it.
Oh my God. He got tripped up by the prompter. He wanted to ad lib, but couldn't. He botched a lot of it. He was hurried.
Yeah.
He seemed angry and defensive, and I just thought he really had a terrible week and so many things kind of converging at once. So you're right. There's a lot of fatigue there, and he brings this on himself. And those plaques are silly. Those things are going to come down. The second he's gone, they're coming down. I mean, I don't even understand some of the things he does.
Well, good.
But I love the guy.
I do too. And I'm not going to question my 3 votes that I cast for him because he's doing kind of what I want him to do. I mean, in my world, the federal government is responsible for less and less and less, and you practice politics and governance closer to the problem with city councils and county legislatures and mayors and governors and things like that. The federal government was, in my opinion, was never really set up to do everything that it's doing.
You're exactly right. I believe in states' rights, and Trump does a lot of this. Reagan did a lot of this.
Right.
Anything he can kick back to the states, he will. Remember, the abortion freaks in this country went absolutely crazy when it was essentially ruled that this is a state issue, not a federal issue. There's never been a federal law on abortion. The Democrats never tried to pass an abortion law.
Right.
They just wanted the court ruling so they could use it in every election every single time. Well, Trump's done a great service for his party in kicking this thing back to the states. I'm okay with abortion being decided by the states. I'm okay with the states deciding almost anything. And then guess what? I get to decide what state I want to live in.
Exactly.
I'm with you, man. I think the federal government should be doing less, not more. He's also done a great thing under the radar this year. We have 300,000 fewer government employees at the federal level than the start of this year. That's awesome. Some of that's Doge. Some of it is people that don't like Trump that are quitting and they're just not replacing. And we need to get that number about 2 million lighter by the end of his term. That would be awesome.
Totally agree with that. I did catch the beginning of your show today. There's a lot of smoke around the Chiefs and or the Royals and moving to Kansas. What's your take on all that?
Well, I think the Chiefs have decided they're going to Kansas. They're in a meeting on Monday in Topeka with the committee that oversees the Star Bonds and grants the Star Bonds. I've said for 3 years, Dale, no NFL or Major League Baseball team has ever been offered 70% of a brand new stadium by a state. That's never happened. This is the most money any teams have ever gotten. How can either one of them say no to Kansas? And as much as I've loved having them in Missouri, and I think the Royals downtown would be awesome, there's no offer on the table. Missouri's offering 50%, but that's only if a city or a county pitches in, and that's going to require a vote.
Right.
And a vote in Jackson County already failed once for both teams. There's no reason to believe it's going to pass again. So I've felt all along that this wasn't even close. They were both going to wind up in Kansas. We now know 99.9% sure that the Chiefs are making the move because they're presenting their plans on Monday to the committee in Topeka. The Royals are quieter about theirs, but they own the mortgage on the land at 119th at Null. They've told T-Mobile they won't extend their lease. What else we got to know about the Royals want to do? They own the land already.
What's the term you use for the housewives who live in the area?
Real Housewives of Hallbrook?
That's it. I love it when you do that.
Real Housewives of Hallbrook got the mayor of Leawood to put a statement out and said, the Royals are great for our region. They're just not for us here in Leawood. You know, those ladies in Hallbrook got more power than anybody in Kansas City. You better watch out. You don't want to cross them. So they're your listeners too, Dale.
All right.
They're listening. Don't cross those Real Housewives of Hallbrook. I don't think they're listening to me, but I know who they are, and they got a lot of power in Leawood, man.
What is it? Does it mean anything? I mean, other than bragging rights, the Chiefs and the Royals have always been on the Missouri side. Does it really matter? I mean, I think about like the New York Metro. You've got the Giants and the Jets. They played in New Jersey forever.
My general experience living here my whole life is that Missouri people don't like Kansans more than the other way around. And I think part of that, and I grew up in Kansas, but part of that is we've just spent so much of our life in Missouri. I would go to Kansas City Kings games at Kemper Arena as a kid. We'd go to Municipal Auditorium. We'd go to Kauffman Stadium, Arrowhead, all the sporting events. Everything was in Missouri. So I always felt like part of that. And maybe that will be lost on some Missourians and upset with it. But I don't know that it really matters. I mean, I've never told anybody I'm a Kansan. I've never said that. Anybody ever asked me, I'm not a Kansan. I'm a Kansas Citian. And I think most people in this city are like that. So I hope it doesn't upset a lot of people that that's happening. This is going to keep these teams here for another 75 years at least. I think it's a great thing if they build both new ballparks. I'm for new things. I think the sports complex is outdated. Unfortunately, when they built those stadiums, Dale, it wasn't an era of great stadium building. At the time, most people were building those round cookie cutter things like the old stadium in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And they would play football and baseball in there together. Well, those stadiums are all gone. We built two of them side by side, but the 70s were not a good time for stadiums being built. They just weren't. So if those had been built in the 50s and they were like really retro cool if the Royals were downtown again or where the old ballpark was, then maybe you keep refurbishing it like Fenway or Wrigley or something. But I think the new ballparks are going to be really good for Kansas City.
I thought the old Busch Stadium in St. Louis looked like a giant ashtray because it had like the loops on it. And you put like a cigar in there and all that. But I agree with you.
Yeah. From the 70s, they would have to make it yellow. Weren't all the ashtrays in the 70s yellow? Or caramel colored. Remember the caramel colored ashtrays?
Oh, my gosh. Yes. Back when everybody smoked. And I grew up around that. Parents, grandparents, everybody smoked. Not me. Not me.
You know what? I'm pretty sure my parents smoking kept me from smoking.
Well,
I thought it was disgusting. I hated it.
My dad died at 50 years old of pancreatic cancer, and he was a 2-pack-a-day smoker. And I saw from beginning to end of that, I would never put one of those in my mouth. Now, a couple of my kids do smoke, and I'm like, man, I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
My dad died at 72 of lung cancer.
Yeah.
And he had quit smoking. He probably quit smoking about age 60, 55 or 60. He quit, but damage done.
Mm. So what else is on your plate? What else would you like to talk about? This is my podcast, but I'm giving you the open platform here.
And you know what I like talking about? I like talking about radio.
Yeah.
And the future of broadcasting, because we're both in podcasting. We recognize, we've been around the block a time or two, you and I. We recognize where this is all going. And I don't know the future of radio, but it feels like it's some sort of connection between broadcast, online, podcast. It's some fusion. And I know they take my show every day at Cumulus and they post it, but they don't really promote it. It doesn't get as many downloads as my podcast does. I don't think radio's really embraced the medium in the right way to get everything out there as much as they possibly can. And I think they should. I was on AM radio and I was a part owner of a company that only had an AM station.
Right.
I didn't see much future in that. So I wanted a buyout. I wanted out of that because I just didn't believe AM radio was going to stay relevant. AM radio maybe is going to be saved by digital. I mean, everything may be online someday, more so than broadcasting. But I believe in the medium. I think there's a connection in radio that's very personal with listeners. Same with podcasting. And I love it. It's in my blood. We had our holiday party the other night, and Doug Medlock was there, who's been in radio forever.
Yep.
Chuck Nasty. I'm around all these people that have just been in it forever. And we all just kind of came to the conclusion that it's just in our blood. We just love it, man. There's something about the medium that's just fantastic.
This is all I've done. I mean, I've been in radio since I was 15 years old. But what I see, and your old station, by the way, now has an FM translator. I think every AM in town has an FM translator. You're on KCMO, which was an AM station, and now has an FM translator. So that's where it's all transitioning to. But what I see is the revenue picture on radio sliding. The digital picture is going straight up, to your point on that. But I'm just hopeful. I want to do this for maybe 5 or 6 more years, doing the morning show on KFKF. I've been there 28 plus years on the morning show. I hope that the business is still there when I want to call my shot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it will be. And I think the numbers show that. And I mean, it's relevant. You're so good at what you do, Dale, and you provide so much entertainment and information in addition to great songs that you play. But that's not, your show is so much more. And there's a connection that people have that they can't get elsewhere on the dial. I think radio is about people. This 94.9 FM that's over here at Cumulus, it has great ratings. They play oldie. I would call them oldies. I don't know what they call them. Hit radio.
Christmas music right now.
Christmas music right now, and they have big numbers, and they'll say, "Oh, it's all about playing Jesse's Girl 11 times a week." And I'm like, I don't know, maybe, but their morning show's pretty good. Those are talented people, and I'm working around talented people there, and I just think there has to be a personal connection. They have a station there called Jack FM that's nothing more than a computer just playing songs, and nobody listens to it. So I think there's a great future for talent in radio. I think it's really important.
Yeah, well, I'm doing high school football on Jack FM on Friday nights during the fall.
They'll listen to that, but they're not listening to those songs. You know what I mean? It's just automated. There's no connection. Do you know what I mean?
It's interesting because I feel like I have a connection to you because I really like listening to you. And where we kind of hooked up here, I mean, we've known each other for a while. Back when you were at 810, we were doing NASCAR on KFKF, and we did an agreement with WHB for you guys to carry all of the stuff that we couldn't on the FM. So we got to know each other then. And I'm driving out of the parking garage one day, and I had resigned as the PA announcer for the Chiefs, and I think I had really legitimate reasons for doing that. And I'm listening to you, one of my favorite guys to listen to on the radio, telling my story. I mean, that was pretty cool.
Well, I respect what you did. I mean, as I understand it, the Chiefs are demanding to work for, first of all. And if they're asking you to do things you're not comfortable doing, man, what a great spot to be in. Good for you to say, no, this has been a great run. I enjoy doing this. I think, and the fans, by the way, believe that you were really, really great and loved your work. And whatever clown came in with the Chiefs and wanted you to try to change your style or do whatever is absurd. Tradition's the greatest thing in sports. Well, you had a traditional third down call that everybody in this town loved and knew and joined in unison at every game, and they wanted something else or something more. Who comes up with these bad ideas?
Well, it came from the ownership suite. So, and I was told if you don't like it, get $1 billion and buy your own effing team.
Yeah,
so it's like, yeah, you know what? I'm not having fun anymore. So I went back to do high school football, have the podcast, running for Jackson County Legislature, and the morning show on KFKF. My life is very full. It sounds like yours is very full too.
Man, you're busy. You're doing more than me. I do a 1-hour radio show. Let's be honest. Okay. I got 1 foot in retirement already. We've got a place in Arizona. We spend a lot of time out there in the winter. And I just had my first grandbaby a few weeks ago.
Congrats. And welcome to the club.
Yeah. And he's in Arizona. So we're going to be spending a lot of time out there and around him. And we're just so excited about this chapter of our life and the freedom that we have to do what it is that we want to do. And I think when we're younger, no matter what your profession is, we raise families, we work really hard, we're very concerned about our children's future.
Yeah.
And when they grow up and they're doing okay, you kind of hit this spot in life. You go, you know what? This should be about me a little bit more now. And I really don't want to work 60 hours a week anymore. It was an absolute grind being a partner at that radio station and doing a 4-hour show. And where we are right now, we're just in a really nice place. We like it.
Good for you. And I know it's going to be like 70 degrees on Christmas. I'm sure you'll get out and play a little golf.
Man, that sounds good. I don't think I'm going to be able to get away from the in-laws. There is a boss in my house. It's not that I work for myself all the time. There is a boss around here. There's a pecking order for sure.
Well, you're a great guy, great part of Kansas City. I enjoy talking to you, and I do appreciate you being here on the podcast. Kevin Kietzman, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm going to do a turnaround here in a few weeks. I'll give you a holler, and we'll have you on Kevin Kietzman Has Issues. How's that sound?
Happy holidays. Absolutely.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Maybe next time we're at Funhouse Pizza doing one of our live shows. We'll be in Lee Summit next time we do it. Maybe Keats will stop by and you can come and meet him and talk to him. I think he might do that for us. Who knows? Funhouse Pizza is the place to go for fun and for meetings and for excellent food. Jim Dingman runs the 50 Highway in Lee Summit location and the 7 Highway in Blue Springs location. And again, if you've got like a team meeting or a birthday party, something like that, because it's not just the food, it's not just the drinks, it's the entire atmosphere. It comes as a party. I mean, you've got video games, rides, all kinds of fun things going on at Funhouse Pizza, 50 Highway Lee Summit, 7 Highway Blue Springs, on the web at funhousepizza.com. Michael Schroer is still getting it done. I am convinced that rates are coming down. Well, I've seen that rates are coming down. With inflation slowing down, you're going to see the Fed continue to reduce rates, and that will, down line, have an effect on home mortgage rates. Not exactly. It's not 1-to-1. You got to watch the 10-year treasuries. I've learned that when you're looking at mortgage rates. But the guy who's going to solve your housing problem is Michael Schroer. No matter what stage of life you're at, if you're an apartment dweller, if you're a younger person, and maybe you want to get ahead of the game here, 40 is right now the average age that people are getting into their first home. That's just staggering to me. You want to do better than that? Michael Schroer will get you in your first home, and you'll start building equity in that first home. You start having kids, we want you to have a big family, a lot of bedrooms. Then you can maybe buy my house when I'm ready to sell it. I got to get Michael on the phone about that. Not yet. A few years down the road yet. And then when the kids are all gone, you want to downsize and get something smaller. Michael's got something for you there too. You find a piece of land you want to build on. He's really good at that. So sell your home, buy another one. Michael Schroer is the official real estate professional of Dale Carter's America. He is at RE/MAX Elite in Lee Summit. Reach him on the phone at 816-373-8400. Cell phone 816-520-9342. RE/MAX Elite, Michael Schroer, spelled Schroer. Get you into that new house. All
Tremendous
right.
people.
It wouldn't be a Dale Carter's America podcast if we didn't have some fresh pickings from the looney left, and they have plenty of lunacy that we need to share. You know, as much as I've talked about Trump fatigue, TFS, can we trademark that? Because TDS is Trump derangement syndrome. I don't know who started that, but that was genius. And I haven't heard anybody else say Trump fatigue syndrome, so we should trademark it.
All right, there it is. You have it.
That way, anybody who says it, I want to check.
We said trademark. It's like saying no takesies backsies. That means that we get it.
We need to remember the Biden years. My God, how bad were things when Joe Biden was president? The guy who came in and said, I'm just going to be normal. Give me a chance. Give me a chance. And then he opens the border and millions of illegals come into this country. He stops the Keystone XL pipeline. I mean, the parade of hits for Joe Biden is nonstop. He says that from now on, at a year certain, we're going to make sure that you have no choice but to buy an EV. So gas-powered cars, that's a thing of the past. You can't cook on a gas stove. You can't heat your home with a gas furnace. All of those mandates were in place with Joe Biden. The disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. I mean, you could go on and on and on. Now, imagine, if you will, President Kamala Harris continuing those disastrous Biden policies, like that EV mandate. Instead, and we talked about this when Biden was president, you thought, I think, I don't want to mischaracterize you, but I think you thought that once we went down this road, even if Trump won again, they were too far down the road and they weren't going to retool.
With the EVs?
Yeah, that we were going to go that way.
Maybe I said that. I don't remember what I said.
Well, the bottom line is Ford cutting their losses. They're going back to gas-powered vehicles, and we have a little report on that from Reuters.
Ford is stopping several of its electric vehicle models and will take a $19.5 billion write-down. That was the word from the US auto major on Monday. It's the strongest sign yet of the auto industry's pullback from battery-powered models. Ford said it will replace the fully electric F-150 Lightning with a new extended-range electric model that uses a gas-powered engine to recharge the battery. The company also cancelled a next-generation electric truck, codenamed the T3, as well as planned electric commercial vans. Ford CEO Jim Farley said the market changed over the last couple of months and drove the carmaker's decision, adding that it will pivot hard into gas and hybrid models and eventually hire thousands of workers. The company expects its global mix of hybrids, extended-range EVs and pure EVs to reach 50% by 2030, up from 17% today. The outlook for electrics dimmed this year as US President Donald Trump's policies pulled federal support for EVs. Trump also eased tailpipe emissions rules, which could encourage carmakers to sell more gas-powered cars. US sales of electric vehicles fell about 40% in November. That followed the end of a $7,500 consumer tax credit in September. Ford isn't alone in changing its approach to EVs. General Motors took a $1.6 billion charge in October as it adjusted its EV factory plans, while Stellantis also backtracked on some of its EV plans and leaned into hybrids. Ford also said Monday it will spread out the multi-billion-dollar write-down over a few quarters, and it raised its guidance for this year's adjusted earnings before interest and taxes to about $7 billion. That was up from a previous range of $6 to $6.5 billion.
Yeah. So what I said at the beginning of this, at the outset of this whole hysteria about, save the planet's dying, so the government's going to tell you what you can drive. Don't tell me what I got to drive. Sell me on it. Sell me on the benefits. And some of these hybrid things make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
My wife bought a vehicle that's a hybrid. It takes gas, but it charges as it drives, and it doesn't have to be plugged into a wall. So you have the best of both worlds. Sell me on the benefit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think there is a benefit. Like, I don't think I would buy a hybrid, like daily driver, maybe. But the truck, I think, could be kind of cool because you get the benefits of gas, but then like with that Ford Lightning, you could basically power your whole house on that thing. I mean, you could do all kinds of stuff with that battery, but it's not convenient when you have to plug it in overnight. You forget to plug it in and you're screwed.
Yeah.
And then the temperature drops, and there's a lot of other things that people don't think of. When the temperature drops, your efficiency goes down.
Exactly.
Dramatically. among other things.
The best example of that, I think, is KCI. If you try and jump on a plane at KCI and you've parked out in the cheapie lot, because I always park in the cheapie lot.
Yes.
I left on one of the coldest days of the year last year, and the buses weren't working because they're EVs. They wouldn't work at all. So basically, the parking lot control was sending a guy around in a gas-powered van, picking up people from the different stops and getting them to the terminal. And I'm like, where's the big bus? It doesn't work in this temperature.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, that's a perfect testimony right there.
And I don't think I've been a nutcase on this or crazy. I think that the sensible policy moving forward is an all-in energy plan. And this week, I don't have anything on this, but I did see it. The governor of Oklahoma basically said they're going to keep a wind program going in Oklahoma. And that makes all the sense in the world because it's very windy in Oklahoma. But it's not going to be the only thing that they're doing. They're going to reactivate 3 Mile Island. They're going to call it something else. Nuclear is part of our future. There's so many nuclear plants in Europe, and we are behind the curve on this clean energy that would be very cheap. So I believe in an all-in policy, and sell me on the benefits. Don't tell me that you're going to run a first world economy on wind and solar alone. But, make it part of the overall plan, and the best plan wins regardless. That's what I would do. And I think that's happening here a little bit. So back to the loony left, Jasmine Crockett, Gary McNamara's congressperson by about 1,000 feet, I think. He's like a block and a half inside of her old district, which was created so she could win. Right? Well, now they've gone through redistricting again, and now her district has disappeared. So she is going to run for the U.S. Senate out of Texas.
Great.
A red state and a loony left like Jasmine Crockett. We've had a lot of fun at her expense playing back her videos, and I think she is very intelligent. I think she plays to her crowd. We've seen her speak very well to her intelligence. I mean, she has a great education, and we've also seen her, what's the right term for this?
Just like blacking it up. Is that what you're going to say?
Hood rat was the word that was like going around my head.
Yeah.
But Victor Davis Hanson, who is a voice we've had on this podcast before, he thinks her running for the Senate is actually a good thing for Republicans.
Jasmine Crockett is like a gift. It's a Christmas gift to the Republicans that was gift wrapped. I mean, here's this preppy woman who went to prep school in Atlanta from upper middle class parents. And then she gets in the House from Texas, and she doesn't do anything other than spout off about Donald Trump and white people in this fake inner city patois. And she intersplices the F word, the S-H-I-T word, and she's vulgar. And she screams about all the offenses that she suffered as a proud black woman. And it's just everybody who watches that, black males, Hispanic male, they don't like it. Nobody does. Jasmine Crockett is like a gift.
It is Christmas, right? He had the word that I was looking for. I'm sure it's in my vocabulary somewhere. Her patois.
Patois. I never heard that word before. Yeah, that sounds like a
a dirty word.
It sounds like a pastry, doesn't it? A patois. Got
all right,
egg and cranberry in it or something like that.
I've got my own patois, and I have a dog sweater on today. Christmas cheer, it's in the air, but don't play Jingle Bells. Joy Reid says that it's racist. I don't know. It turns out, though, she can sing. She did this video to send to Fox News, who made a big deal out of her saying that Jingle Bells is racist.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. That's for you, Fox. I know history is hard, but don't worry. It's just here to help.
Oh, that's
and
great.
So is Khalil Green.
I don't even know who Khalil Green is.
For you and for all of us.
Do you know who Khalil Green is?
You'll be okay, Fox. It'll be fine. You can still sing.
We're watching this whole video.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. See, she said Merry Christmas.
So what's the deal? It's like Jingle Bells is racist or something?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, let me guess. I'm going to guess. The Jingle Bells were on slaves.
I think that's true. That's the assertion. Yeah.
I got to look this up.
Okay.
You can keep talking.
I'll keep talking while you look
It's like the we've played the Is It Racist game, or I've mentioned it before. It's you just think of a word right now.
Patois.
No, okay. I mean, I don't know if that's going to work, but
probably not.
Like a normal word.
Well, can you type in Jingle Bells?
Yes. But anyways, the game is you type any word and then you in Google and then racist and you'll get a result.
Yeah. You can make a case for anything being racist. I think that's the point you're making. Right?
Yeah.
If you really try hard enough to be offended, you can be offended by pretty much anything.
Here you go. Jingle Bells is racist, what the research actually says. Research? Ugh. I'm not reading this.
Don't read all that. Just take Joy Reid's word for it. If you sing Jingle Bells, you are a racist.
Yes.
And this segment would not be complete without James Carville saying something stupid. Can we cue the tape there?
Charlie Kirk, okay, didn't say anything. There was this thing, some kindergarten teacher forwarded some things he said about women. I would urge anybody to look at that. And they fired. They fired him. Okay? I'm sorry. I don't want anybody to get shot. He had young kids. I hate that. But Charlie Kirk was not a pimple on Rob Reiner's ass when it comes to influence, when it comes to impact, when it comes to anything else. I don't say anything bad, but for God's sakes, don't dare compare Charlie Kirk to Rob Reiner. That's not fair.
He wasn't a pimple on his ass.
Yeah. Well, my take on that is from the little I knew of Charlie Kirk, because that's not my generation, but everything I've seen and read, he went to college campuses. Turning Point was about talking about conservatism, what we believe as conservatives. And in a college setting, if you disagreed with Charlie, he wanted you front and center so that you guys could have a discussion about it. Does that pretty much sum it up?
I think so.
Yeah. So in Rob Reiner, you can go on YouTube and type in Rob Reiner blasting conservatives, blasting, Donald Trump, blasting Rush Limbaugh. And you can see scads of videos of a man who really the only thing that he brought to the table was he was meathead on All in the Family, and he directed a lot of movies. I don't know how that makes him an expert on politics and political thought. But he excoriates everyone, especially Donald Trump. And when we talk about Trump derangement syndrome, he's probably one of the leading candidates of it, or he was one of the leading candidates of it. And to say he's not a pimple on
Rob Reiner's ass.
Yeah.
Insinuating that Rob Reiner had more, 100 times more influence than Charlie Kirk or something like that, which is silly.
I think that's very silly. I mean, there's an argument out there that Charlie Kirk motivated younger people to vote for Donald Trump and may be the reason he's president of the United States.
For sure. Especially the first time. Yeah.
What did Rob Reiner do? He just bitched online about stuff.
Yeah.
Now, again, I will say what I said earlier in the podcast. Being stabbed to death and your wife being stabbed to death by your son is tragic. Full stop. there's nothing else you could say about that.
Yeah.
It is tragic, and I pray for that family. But to me, there's no comparison, and it's the other way.
And I have like the Carville clip there. I'm having a hard time understanding him. Maybe it's because we see him talking a lot, but like I don't know if his dentures are loose or something. Well, he needs to get new dentures.
He's from Louisiana, and they have their own special patois.
You don't even know what that means.
I'm going to use that word a lot, though, just because it's fun. It's fun to say. Bob Watson is my insurance agent, and he's been a State Farm agent for over 50 years. He is the gold standard of what is arguably the best brand of insurance in this country. Everybody knows State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Bundle your home and car insurance. You'll save even more. And Bob's great. He also has a team of people with him that have been helping me for the last 30 plus years as we've gone through every phase of our lives, from kids getting their driver's licenses to things going wrong with the house. Bob Watson has been by my side helping me to solve those problems. 816-229-7878. He's got auto, home, life, commercial insurance, licensed in Missouri and Kansas. And again, like a good neighbor, State Farm, and Bob Watson is there. We will leave you with this on the Christmas episode. I love Taylor Sheridan shows. I looked at my viewing habits, and I watch all of his shows. There's not one that I don't watch.
What is it besides Yellowstone and Landman? What are the other ones?
Mayor of Kingstown, which is kind of dark. It's set in a Michigan prison. And in fact, I looked this up. I Googled this because it seemed like in every scene, the color scheme was like gray and blue.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that on purpose? And it is on purpose.
Yeah.
It's exactly what they're going for there. 1883.
Okay.
You know, that whole series there with the Dutton family. Taylor Sheridan is really speaking to people who watch television. He's not playing the PC game and all that, the woke game and all that. So I am a big fan. So that's why I saw this episode of Landman. If you are up to date, you're fine. If not, this might be a little bit of a spoiler. On the season, he plays like a landman for an oil company.
Mm-hmm.
Have
Billy
you
Bob
watched it
Thornton.
at all?
No.
Billy Bob?
No.
Okay. It's really, really good. So this season, we see his dad, played by Sam Elliott, which there's a math problem there because I think there's only 10 years difference between the two of them. But, you suspend reality and all that. So Sam Elliott has moved in with them, and he's been in a nursing home. And in this exchange, Billy Bob explains The View to his dad.
What do you need? I don't know what to do.
Well, shit, do whatever you want to. Read a book or watch TV. Watch one of them daytime talk shows.
You know, like The View or something. What's The View?
Bunch of pissed off millionaires bitching about how much they hate millionaires and Trump and men and you and me and
everybody else they got to be up their ass about. It's pretty funny. Don't sound funny.
Well, it ain't joke funny. It's like farting church funny, you know what I mean?
That don't sound funny either. Well, it depends on your proximity to the fart.
It's a great show. And I understand the ladies on The View didn't think it was very funny at all. But then again, they wouldn't find much funny, right?
It's true.
Yeah. We'd love to have them on our show at some point. So from all of us, I think this is going to be our last episode of this year. So it is the Christmas episode. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. I wish you and your family, Kurt, very Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got
too. God
one.
bless.
It's her first Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
And well, it's Noah's first Christmas that he's going to, be able to participate in because he was like 2 weeks old for the last one.
And we got to give it up for Noah because he has been in the podcast studio with us throughout.
I think he made a little cameo there in the back.
That's fine. You know what? It's Christmas.
I was telling this to you. There's a little cut I had to make there, but he's like watching Barney and the ads come up and he's just like pressing on the ads. So I got a text from my friend and he's like, what is this? I see the text. He's like, what is this? And I look and Noah had clicked on the ad for some like financial services thing and then texted it to my friend and then sent another message that was like, I was like, no.
Is that a stock? Should we buy?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's like throwing darts at the dartboard.
Yeah. So from all of us at Dale Carter's America, we wish you a Merry Christmas. It's going to be a great 2026. Hang in there with us. And until then, this is Dale Carter's America.
The views expressed on Dale Carter's America are Dale's and Kurt Wheeler's. They do not necessarily reflect the views of KFKF or Steel City Media. Comments can be sent to dalecartersamerica@gmail.com. Check back for weekly episodes. Subscribe, spread the word, and give us a 5-star review. Thanks for being a part of Dale Carter's America.